I think you guys know all of our faces. Why don't we take a turn real quickly? Introduce yourself and what you do, and maybe if you are a GM, what hotel do you represent? Start from my far left. Go ahead.
My name is Sandy Sia. I'm corporate IT head at Tona. Tagay group 2.
Oh, before I forget, I always add to my seminars. Also add what your favorite dessert is, so we get to know each other a little bit better on a personal level. So go ahead.
What dessert?
Any. Favorite dessert.
Buko pandan.
Go ahead.
Biko fruit.
There you go. There you go.
Ano daw?
I always do this because it's funny. You guys work together for years, maybe, and you don't get to know each other on a personal level. This is one opportunity to do so. First, second.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rene Avila Jr. I'm the Corporate Finance Manager. I'll be reviewing the transactions from the properties, and we are expecting that this consolidator will really help us in consolidating, automating the consolidation.
Fantastic.
Favorite
Dessert.
dessert. Okay, maybe ice cream.
No flavor?
Vanilla.
There you go.
Christian Boalan, I'm the Director for Operations for the hotel group. Anything that has ube.
There you go. Perfect. Next.
My name is Mr. Joseph Ong, representing Oriental Bataan as the General Manager. My favorite dessert is panna cotta.
Perfect.
My name is Mr. Romeo Ko. I'm the General Manager for the Oriental Hotel Legazpi and Albay. And I would say my favorite dessert is just black coffee.
Black coffee.
Fantastic. Black coffee. That's a dessert, huh? Okay.
Okay, I'm Anito Lendingsay, the General Manager of the Oriental Tacloban. My favorite dessert that would be chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. You're going to do my stuff because you're going to be with you guys for a little while. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. I'll put my staff there and I'll go to you guys. Go ahead. Pepito, go.
Hi, good morning. I'm Pepito Macalanda Jr. CSD head, and we'll be training the Bataan HMS and POS system.
Favorite dessert?
Banana.
At Choco.
Choco. Sige.
Good morning, I'm Marvin Munde. I'll be training the payroll system and UPS.
Okay. Go.
Okay, my name is AJ. I'm implementer for MMS and Asset. My favorite dessert is cookies and cream ice cream.
Gotcha.
Hi sir, my name is Merle Angelique Nishansena, and I will be your implementer for the accounting system. And my favorite dessert would be coffee jelly.
Fantastic.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jover Marciliana. So, my favorite dessert is Graham float and corporate IT.
Fantastic. Okay, sir.
Good morning. I'm Angelica Cuyugan. I'll be joining this company in October 7. And my favorite dessert is chocolate.
Chocolate what?
Chocolate ice cream.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm Giannis Choco.
OPC.
For now, I will be working somehow, some sort of just maybe short engagement with Gina, focusing supposedly on the internal audit function. So since things will be automated or you're shifting into new system, so basically just in time for me trying to come up with on the internal audit, especially in the automated systems.
Perfect.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
well, dessert I eat anything that is served.
Okay.
Not choosy.
So if they gave you coffee for dessert, would you take that?
I don't take coffee.
Okay, so next.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pauline David, OPC head. I'll be doing our processes and policies. Favorite dessert, the chef landed.
Fantastic. I'm George Llorente from Gatesoft. I'm the president. My favorite dessert is banana cream pie. Alrighty? Okay, let's get into this. The reason why we're here, guys, is because your company purchased our system for your hotels a few years ago. And it's been implemented maybe, I think, 3 or 4 times by now. So we're going to go over why a little bit. I'm going to go a little overview of the software, but I think first off, I need to talk to you guys as a GM, as a management top level for the time being, okay? So let's get into it right now. This is in conjunction with Wilbert, Gina, and Christian. Alrighty? Okay, I want to first ask a question, or to say, raise your hand if you want to work abroad or earn more money as a hotel GM or any function. Put your hand up if you want to earn more money or work abroad. If you're no, put your hand up. You must be lying, because everyone wants to go out of the country. Who wants to make more money? Put your hand up. Honestly, if you want to make more money, put your hand up. Except for my staff. Okay, let's make that. Why am I'm just joking. The reason I said that is because, you know, I've been doing this for 23 years, and in the hotel arena alone, I mean, I've traveled the world, and I've seen and I've met with thousands of GMs, and from different industries, different countries, and different hotel chains, and so on. And I've seen a common denominator of the highest paid. The common denominator of the highest paid are the GMs that are very, very, very engaged in the hotel operations. When I say engaged, I don't mean just engaged in the area of they're there, they look good, they have a three-piece suit, they're sitting there, they walk around. We're talking they are really hands-on on every level. They know everything of the hotel, not just the people, but everything they use, the software, the back office, everything. We're going to talk about that. So if you want to earn extra money, this is the opportunity to learn how to do that. Most common GMs concentrate on the front desk software, and that's reality. Okay? If they can reserve, check in a guest, create a folio, generally speaking, then they are happy. That is the most common GM worldwide. And okay, I'm from Canada, okay? So you're not alone. A lot of GMs, even in Canada, in the US, Malaysia, Australia, they're the same. If they feel, most of them are like this. And they're all in the same boat as you. They all want to earn extra money. They're wondering why they're not at a higher level already at this stage. That's the most common GM. An uncommon GM knows software, functions, and all departments, including the back office. I'm not just talking operating. You already know your job as a GM. I'm not here to tell you your job in that area. I'll give you guys tips on how you guys can elevate yourself. And that's one thing you got to do. And one of the things is your president or your owner of this company bought an expensive millions worth of software, and it's not being used. So we're talking about that, and you got to use this thing. And uncommon is equal to above average. That's the equivalent of that. And we have to discuss that. Now, you were the captain and lieutenant of the General Wilbert Lee, okay? And even the captains and lieutenants in the field, in the army, in the military, knows the equipment and tools of war in detail and knows how to use them. They can guide the soldiers directly in the field more effectively. That's true, isn't it? Am I right or wrong? But a lot of GMs don't. And that's the reality of it. I'm not saying the people in this room are. I'm just saying, generally speaking, GMs, the common GMs, generally are not like this gentleman right here. They're gonna let someone else speak for them, or they'll speak for them, but they'll be never the one to teach them how to change the clip of the magazine. We'll never teach that because they don't know how to do it. And that's something is a liability as a GM. And that's why the guys like this, who knows more about his soldiers' tools, gets promoted to the general quicker. And sometimes you're wondering, some GMs are wondering, they're a GM for the last 10, 50, 20 years, and they're not at a bigger chain, whatever, maybe you should ask yourself why. You don't know all the things in the operation of the hotel. Can you imagine the president of the Philippines spending billions in defense and the military doesn't use it? It happens all the time. Not just in a hotel, in companies. They spill billions and millions of dollars into systems, equipment, automobiles, whatever it might be. But if it's software related, they tend to spend the money on it, and most often it just doesn't get used. And that's the sad part about it. We have to keep that in mind. I'm trying to change your frame of mind here, because everyone understands military to a certain degree. That's why we use military as our analogy today. General Lee, okay, purchased your battalion's bombs, guns, drones, tanks for you to fight to win your battle. He has. All these things that a normal general or another president of a country would purchase, he purchases it equal to, in this case, software. Would you be in this with the soldiers? If you were the owner, the president, would you be in this that you spend billions on this and no one uses it, all the soldiers don't use it at all? Would you feel confident in your country and in your soldiers? No, you wouldn't. It's just the reality of it. But that's effectively what's going on. And we have to call a spade a spade. I'm a very prompt person. I don't hold back punches. Because we're not at the time that we should do that at this moment in time. But this software costs millions. And it's in your rooms, your hotels. It's all there. It's been there for years. And they're still not effectively being used. And we have to change that. So my job today, as I talk to Milbert and to Gina and to Christian, is to make sure that I have the GMs on board. You are the captains, lieutenants of this whole entire operation. Without you, this country or this hotel fails. It's true. But your general has purchased the tools for you to use to run your hotel properly. Rule number 1. Can you guys all turn off your cell phones? Every one of you.
Minimum na yan.
Everyone turn off their cell phones. Not just put in your pocket, turn them off. This is what usually happens in most meetings. It's one of the recipes for failure, when the GMs don't really have 100% full attention here. Or the top management. I apologize, but I need all of you, I'm not kidding, turn off your cell phone. I was asked to come here for free today, and I'm not going to waste my time again if you're going to answer a phone or leave this room because there's another thing you have to worry about. Is that clear?
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind. Huh? This is the way it should be. This should be all the time, like this. Okay? Great. Turn off your phone. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Graphs and reports are needed whether you're in the military or the private sector from every level, guys. Can you imagine? You already seen some movies, right? Military, they look at the top management, the people in the field, the military in the field, they're looking at this, and you expect them to use this to win the battle. It's no different from your private sector. But this information cannot come up if the people in the field don't use their tools to send information back to the headquarters, correct? Same thing here. You can't just expect these fantastic reports quickly if you don't use the equipment and the software, in this case, in the field. And that's the reality of the whole thing right now. And that's why we are where we are at right now. Take advantage of your situation, guys. Your company purchased more than most hotels purchase. Most hotels just purchase a front-end software, hotel. That's it. But they don't really spend the extra millions on accounting, on procurement, on asset, on payroll, on HRIS, on you name it. All the other softwares that are involved here. Something they're trying to be on the bid. But then this is all needed to make sure your system works. And the reason why General Lee purchased it, because all of that will send it to his cell phone reports. It's all set up that way. And if he sees one missing data, that means someone didn't do their job. And that's the truth of it. So we're here to get that in motion. Okay? And it's your stepping stone, right? To learn and to go abroad, guys, or work or make more money. You guys are getting free education from the company who's paying for it. Other people that I know, like from your level, they have to go to a course and get this, and to get the experience from it. You have to pay for it. Now it's for free. Take advantage of what you can. We do offer certifications. Maybe you're not aware of that. We do. You pass the exam, you get a certification. Put it on your CV. It goes a long way. We all know that. Become a 21st century hotel GM. This is technology. We're now, I know you guys are all about the same age. I'm 52 years old right now. Maybe you guys are a little bit younger than me, but I'm 52, and what can I say? I have to keep up with technology. I grew up when there was no internet. I grew up on 8-track. Who knows 8-track? There I go. Okay, we're the same age. Yes. Everyone else is like bata here in this room now. Okay, 8-track, right? I remember that. This is even before the Walkman, everything. This is 8-track. I grew up in those days. I had an 8-track player. None of you guys never even heard of that. Do you have you? You know what 8-track is? There, see? There we go. I remember programming on a 10-inch floppy disk. You know, there was a 10-inch floppy disk before? I was not 21st century, guys. I was like 20th century back then. But I had to go with the flow. I had to keep up with technology. And all of us are expected to do the same. Okay? The technology that generally is purchased, basically, is at your fingertips right now. If you're allowed, you might be given the ability to see on your phone. I'm not sure. You have to talk to Christian about that. I'm not sure. That's his liberty to give that discretion for you to see that or not. These are things that was purchased. Okay. Basically, it's a whole solution that was purchased. It's not just a front-end software, but this is typically what is generally what we call a hotel software. The front desk. It covers reservations, sales, check-in, check-out, folio. That's pretty much it. But we went further. They went in from a timekeeping here. They went in from door lock systems, reservations, spa, housekeeping, food and beverage, souvenir, banquet sales, timekeeping, payroll, fixed assets, all to accounting. That's the general system that was purchased. And there's actually more, but I won't overwhelm you yet. That's practically what was done. And it's there. It's not fully being utilized. Maybe this is being utilized, but these other areas are not fully. The purchasing is not really fully being utilized, 100%. The assets not being fully utilized. The payroll, the timekeeping, and in the end, Wilbert wants to see it on a phone. That's his end. And if one area is missing, he'll know it in the accounting because the FS is not complete. It's kulang. So here we go. We even have the access, and this is, I'm not to Wilbur about this, but we're talking, this is now what's going on. We have kiosks that we can put in place, self-check-ins, we have apps for approving the purchase requisition, we have apps for housekeeping, we have apps for even the front desk. Legazpi has that. Have you seen it in working yet? I'll show a video today of it, of your hotel having it. You can also improve your employee morale. You can create incentives to use the software systems, whatever that might be. You talk to Christian about that. If that's part of the plan, I'm not sure. I'm just injecting that. This allows them the knowledge, to improve the knowledge and experience, thus helping them improve their KPIs or achieve the KPIs. They can even earn certification that can place on their CV. Any employee who gets a certification on their CV, that they put on CV, given to by the GM, authorized by us, they have this big smile on their face. They work harder for you. They're more loyal. And then they just feel like, whatever I can do, they want to learn, and they will go into software. Instead of them like forcing them, saying, use the software, let's give them incentives that they want to learn on their own. And that's something you should utilize. It's kind of been forgotten. An effective GM, guys, is an involved GM. Not only should they know the operations, but the tools the staff use to run the operations. In a lot, I have no percentages on this one. In a lot of implementations that we do, I always find the GM always disengaged. They're like at the trainings, they show up for like 5 minutes, they're on their cell phone, look at their cell phone, and then they say, I gotta go, thank you, and they walk away. And they leave their department heads or staff to understand the software, but the GM never really spends the time to understand the system. And that's a problem. I can't imagine, as I showed that those military pictures earlier, I can't imagine a captain in the field or a lieutenant in the field or a sergeant in the field leaving his soldiers alone. They're always there. They gotta feel like they're with them. Because if the soldier feels the captain, lieutenant, sergeant with them, they'll fight for them and even give their life for them. And the same thing can happen in the private sector too. If your staff know you're there, no matter thick or thin, whether it's good or bad, you're there hands-on with them, they feel like, I'll do whatever I can. They'll be loyal to you. And most often, sometimes when you leave, the people follow with you. You love that kind of GM. That's the kind of GM I think Oriental deserves. If not, you're not an involved GM. A GM is unable to see the staff could be cheating the hotel. And when you cheat the hotel, you're cheating the customers as well. You guys agree with that? This is an industry statistic, okay, in implementations. 42% of implementations are successes. That green little pie there. And 28% are failures. They actually say 1 in 3. That's 28%. There is also what we call a don't know. What's a don't know? Does anyone know what a don't know is? What's a don't know? Anyone? Okay. A don't know is they signed off on the software due to successful UAT, but they're not using the software. And it happened, I think, in Oriental several times now. We implemented in Oriental hotels, we trained, we UAT'd, everyone said, yeah, it's working. They make sure that this entry or this input into the hotel, to the POS, to the asset, the inventory, is showing up in accounting GL account. Wow, perfect, it's working. Gumagana. Sign. We have sign-offs on every one of your hotels. But still today, you're not fully maximizing the software. You guys are in the don't know. Number 2, using some modules but not all. As I said, the most common GMs they're happy when they see the front office working. So, and I think generally speaking, most of your hotels, if not all, you guys I think most of your hotels are using the front office. And that's it. But the accounting, the procurement, the assets, the payroll, maybe 60% usage. Reports are coming out of Excel, not from the system. Then that's still, you're not using the system. Because where is the data coming from Excel? It's questionable, right? That's a question mark in General Lee's mind and the auditing department as well. If it comes from the software, we know that's from the inputs of the operations, correct? That's it. So again, if you fall under this, you're on the don't know. Using the software fully, but not maximizing to increase profits and costs. And I believe that's also what's happening here in Oriental. You don't get a financial statement coming from our system right now, although it's capable and it can do it. If you guys are creating an Excel and you're allowing your staff to give you reports from Excel, you're allowing them. You don't question them. Right? Just don't question them. That also is don't know. So really, now if you look at this, you kind of have a better perspective what that means. You can see you guys fall there, but Christian and I had a talk earlier, and Christian had a good point. And that is, if you're in the don't know, basically, it's a failure. If you really think about it, it's just a failure. And we have to change that. Okay? We want you to maximize this system. It's so sad, I get frustrated, guys. You guys have a Lamborghini sitting in your garage, but you never use it. You just never use it. Guys, this is the first time in history, and I kid you not, the first time in history, an all-in-one software, not just for hotels, we're not just hotels, guys, an all-in-one software has been created under one developer for all departments. Yeah, use Opera, but they use a different third-party accounting system. You get SAP back-end, but they don't have a hotel system, so you get an Opera, they kind of try to connect it together. Or you get the same IFCA, they have some other function from procurement, but they don't have a payroll system for the Philippines. So they gotta get third party. They don't have an HRIS, so they're gonna get third. That's what I'm saying. This is the first time in history to get one whole holistic solution. And what's the reason behind it? Is to get a very fast financial statement. Because industry standards say that the average financial statement takes maybe a week to maybe 2 months to create. Why? It's all mano-mano. You have some softwares and some are Excel, and you're trying to bring it all together. But we've created for you something that is like push a button and it can come down in the same day in financial statement. What's the advantage of that statistically? Or if you look from a military standpoint, if you were in the military and you could get real-time reconnaissance of what's going on, what advantage does it give you as a military standing? Everything. You have the military advantage of all things. Same thing here. If you get financial statements 1 week, 2 months later, you're making decisions based on 2 months or 1 week old data. Doesn't make sense. You might get the availability report, occupancy report. Okay, fine, that's good enough for you, but not for the whole company as a whole. About their costing, about their how to make some strategic decisions to make it better. So that's why I'm sharing the importance of what we're doing in this next few weeks. It's very important to get your buy-in. Without you guys, without the lieutenants and captains in this room, this battle will be lost. I kid you not. And generally, we'll have a word. Understand? Recipe for successful implementation. First, we need to get the buy-in from the owner, and we had that now from Wilbur. Wilbur and I had discussion. I also talked with Gina. Gina will talk to Wilbur. We had very great conversations over the weekend and last week and so on, and we have it. He understands what he purchased now, and he knows the power of it now. Now he wants his captains, lieutenants to now use the assets that were purchased. Next is this. This is where implementations go wrong. Okay? This is where this is like this. If you want this 42% to be 100%, then you need to understand this. Okay? This is why 1 in 3, and by Christian standards, 2/3 of implementations fail because don't know is still a failure. Am I right? By Christians, right? It makes sense. Yeah. If you want it 100%, then you must, as a GM and other department heads that you are, need to understand this. The general understanding sometimes is, okay, we bought a software. Problem solved. Wrong. It's not solved. Because we are only one part of this whole entire solution. The other 2 parts, you control, not us. You control that. And that's your people, and that's your processes. And I'm so glad that you're here. Because the first few implementations we had here, you were not there. But I'm glad that he's here now. Why? Because that tells me Wilbert understands now the importance of what's going on. And through Gina, her general, I see what he's doing. Okay, I'll make sure, George, this time you have the people there to make sure this is part successful. Because he understands that this is this person and Gina and Christian. That's the processes. That's it. Without the physical processes of flow and decision making, that is all still, no matter how much money spent on this is necessary. Then you've got people. The people are your people. If you can't command your people and demand them and inspire them to use the system, then you're not doing your job fully as a GM. That's just the reality of the whole situation. And we got to get that going, because with people, the people on board can leverage this technology. Using our technology, with it, they can leverage it. So your one person becomes 5 people now, with the costing of one person. Because am I right, GMs? It's all about costs, right? Control the costs. You can always hire more people, but what ends up happening? Your cost goes up. So now you have a tool to bring your costs down and still get the same result, if not better. We've got it. Your people can leverage your technology, which is one you purchased from us. The technologies that you guys purchase from us can enable your processes to take effect. You understand the connection now? Are they coming to get me? I'm not sure. The processes, you're going to force it because you will document the process. And maybe during implementation, the process will change. That is normal. Because with technology, you'll find out that what you did before, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Sometimes with our software or technology, you do it in 2 steps now. And that's the way it is. So you can save steps. But we end up happening in some of our implementations, not saying in this case, but it did happen in some of the Oriental implementations, is you guys will argue, no, kailangan the 4 steps, kailangan, and you want to customize your software to make 4 steps, which doesn't make any sense at all. And we end up arguing over a 2-step process, delayed implementation longer, and then people just get disillusioned. The system is there. It's there to help you process that, your documentation, document your process in the system. So this process will enable you to do that, and the people that you've commanded, inspired, and motivated will now follow the process. You can see there is a connection here. As a GM, you need to understand those 3 circles fully and the importance of it. Don't take it lightly, because with this, and not just in the hotel industry, any industry that you're in, this still takes effect. It still takes effect. And with all these 3 working perfectly in harmony, this gives you beautiful data. That data could be how to get a better rate, what's the best rate to charge your customers, the best costing for your drinks and your food, the best suppliers for your linen and your pillowcases. It's everything. In the end, the data gets to a financial statement. It's a summary. So, but this data is nothing. It's garbage in, garbage out. You need to have these 3 working together. This implementation coming